Welcome to the October 16th Early Release Day. Today we will review our progress made on the implementation of the Big Three: Common Core, New State Assessments, and Educator Effectiveness. First, let's talk Educator Effectiveness. If you haven't heard, the rollout of Teachscape at the state level has had some issues. Take a moment and reflect on where you are with Teachscape. Are you happy with what you've done in Teachscape? Or are you confused with what to do next? Or are you frustrated like this guy? If you're at that level of frustration, then let's take a step back and remember what Teachscape is. The program itself is designed to store your evaluation data and SLO and PPG in one central location so that you and your administrator can easily collaborate. At this point, Teachscape is not working as a collaborative tool. It is only working as a storage unit. DPI is aware of this and is working with Teachscape to completely overhaul their operating system to make it communicate more like a Google Doc. But that won't happen until next year. Until then, we must find the happy in the situation and remember the reason we have Teachscape. It is not our evaluation system, it is only the warehouse. We can still improve our evaluation system without it. Therefore, if you are completely frustrated with Teachscape, talk to your administrator about using a Google document to store your SLO, PPG, and evidence. At the end of the year, you will still have to input your information into Teachscape, but hopefully this change will alleviate your stress level. If you are fine with the Teachscape and its current bugs, you can continue to use it as it is currently designed. If you are confused about Teachscape but you want to continue using it, great, keep using it. If you are completely frustrated with Teachscape, then take it off your plate. Use a Google document and input your information into Teachscape at the end of the year. Just make sure you communicate this switch with your administrator. Remember that your SLO and PPG is due today. To be clear, you can complete your SLO and PPG in Teachscape and submit it to your principal, or you can complete your SLO and PPG as a Google Doc and share it with your principal. By October 30th, if you're up for evaluation this year, your principal or administrator will contact you to set up a meeting to review your SLO and PPG. If you're not up for evaluation this year, you have the option to sign up for a voluntary face-to-face meeting with me, or if you share your SLO and PPG with me on a Google Doc, I will review it for you. If you want to have a face-to-face meeting with me, sign up on a Google document that I shared with you today. Use the handouts that your PLC point person gave to you today to review your PPG and SLO. These documents are designed to help you understand the expectations of what should be in a PPG and an SLO. When completing a PPG, remember the big picture by answering the following questions. What do I want to change about my practice that will effectively impact student learning? How can I develop a plan of action to address my professional learning? And how will I know if I accomplished my objective? Use this rubric to ensure that you are meeting all of the requirements. The biggest stumbling block that you may encounter at the end of the year is answering the question, how will I know if I accomplished my objective? Within your goal statement, you need to include your indicators of success. What will you collect or be able to review at the end of the year that shows that you've made growth in the area that you chose? If you chose to align your SLO and PPG, you could include student data as an indicator of success. However, you do not need to include student data in this section. If you are a teacher who writes a PDP, the difference between a professional development plan and a PPG is the inclusion of a Danielson framework component. Your PPG needs to include which component you will improve upon. I would suggest that you type in word for word the level that you would like to attain. In this example, I have used the Level 4 wording from Domain 3A, Instruction and Communicating with Students. The reason you would write it out word for word is so that you know exactly what you are striving for. Many of the components have more than one skill you need to have in order to reach that level. You may have noticed that the instructional activities and resources and support section appear to be very similar. Therefore, I have included multiple examples within the rubric so that you can see the difference. When including these in your PPG, try to be as specific as possible. If you don't know the name of the book or workshop that you'd like to attend, then describe the type or book of work or workshop, such as a classroom management workshop. Remember that in the Learn section of Teachscape, you can sign up for free professional development modules on each Danielson component. You would include these in the Instructional Activities section. When you feel your SLO and PPG are ready, you can submit it. The administrator will then be able to see your work. If your administrator has suggestions, he or she can then send it back to you with revisions. The other option would be to save and submit later. You can then share your SLO and PPG through a Google Doc or sign in and show your administrator your work from your account. Many teams who have chosen a team SLO have had the same question. Do we include team data or individual data or both? The answer is both. Your team has the same SLO and you may be collecting data as a team. However, you will want to include your individual class data as well so that at the end of the year you are evaluated on your progress. As educators, we want to make sure that 100% of our kids learn at high levels. In fact, it's our mission statement. All kids will learn. However, we know that because of the starting level of some students, they may not grow as fast as others, and therefore we may not make 100% growth. Here's a great sentence that the kindergarten team used in their SLO. 15% of the kindergarten population will show partial improvement toward the goal, but may not meet benchmark based on the IEP expectations. Now for a few notes on testing. State testing is already underway. The majority of 9th grade students finished the online ACT Aspire test last week. Any 9th grader with severe needs will start taking the DLM this next week. 1st and 2nd grade teachers finished up the PAL screener last week, and the pre-K kindergarten teachers started this week. On October 27th, the window opens for the WKCE WAA. All 4th, 8th, and 10th grade students will be taking the social studies and science portions of this test. Thank you to all of the staff that have made the testing go as smoothly as it has. Even though there were challenges, we worked through them and have come through all the smarter in preparation for the next round of testing in the spring. And that leaves us with standards. When you finish writing your SLO and PPG, you should be refocusing your energy on the 5-year goals. The first goal talks about selecting your essential outcomes and creating quality assessments that measure student success on those outcomes. In grades kindergarten through 8th grade, the focus should be on the ELA, math, and science standards. And at the 9th through 12th grade level, the focus is on the ACT standards. Special ed, you may have your own set of standards, the extended grade band standards in science, and the essential elements in ELA and math. Once you or your team has a handle on the standards and the assessments that go with them, your focus should be on creating systems of response. If your students are failing, what is your response in the classroom, and what is the response of the school? If students are excelling, how does their instruction differ from the other students? Although this is a very challenging task, technology has helped us create more individualized activities for students. For example, at the elementary and middle school, students participate in online programs such as Reading Assistant, Achieve 3000, and Moby Math. And at the high school this year, a team will be looking into a way to set aside time for students to get extra help in areas that they struggle and for those that don't. Our third 5-year goal is about infusing vocabulary and writing into your lessons and units. Many teams are working hard on this goal and have included work with Latin and Greek roots or have set aside time for students to really internalize the new vocabulary words found in their curriculum. Other teams are working on infusing more writing in their subject areas. One common writing technique that is being used in middle and high school is the MELCON or MAMSCON writing technique. By teaching a common way of writing a paragraph and using evidence, other subjects such as social studies, business, science can assign more writing in their classrooms, helping students see the connection between the subjects. Remember that the big 3 tie together, even though at times they seem like just busy work. If you are working toward improving yourself one goal at a time by learning how to become better at your weaknesses, and you teach specific skills to students such as how to argue using evidence and how to explain your thinking, then our students should be successful on any assessment that they will take and will then accomplish our mission of all students will learn. Thanks for all of your work. You are doing great things.